We are going to Prince Edward Island first. So, welcome back to the Canada Specialist Program Series. So lovely to have Charlotte with us today. Like I said, joining us from PEI. And it's been, Charlotte, we worked out it's been about 18 months since you were last on the series. So, we're looking forward to hearing your update today. I'm going to hand over to you.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. I'm dialing in from, I think it's 6:30 p.m. here in PEI, Canada. Let's start it here. So Prince Edward Island is the smallest province in Canada. We're nestled in the Atlantic coast amongst New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador, and Nova Scotia. It's interesting, in Prince Edward Island, you're only ever 16 kilometers from the ocean. So while we're small, there's so much to see here. I'm going to get into talking a little bit about what there is to do and see, but obviously we're known for our spectacular scenery, our golf, Anna Green Gables, of course, and our food scene. I'm just going to play a little video for you to show you what Prince Edward Island looks like.
Something happens when you're released from routine. You're free to let go. To dig in.
Sorry, guys. Not sure what happened there.
Something happens when you're released from routine. You're free to let go. To dig in. To let yourself get carried away. You find that feeling you've been missing? Here, on our island. Maybe even a little above it. Come find your island, Prince Edward Island.
Yeah, sorry about that. I have the chat box up, so I'm trying to see if people are typing, and then I don't know what happened there. So I put the chat box down if you have any questions. Here's a map just to visualize where Prince Edward Island is. As you can see, the Gulf of St. Lawrence there. There's a few different entry points into PEI. So we do have an airport, Charlottetown Airport. The main connectors are into Toronto and Montreal. We do have cruising. We have a port here in Charlottetown that's really, really popular. Lots of fall cruising in Charlottetown as well. And then, of course, we have the Confederation Bridge and the Northumberland Ferry. So the Confederation Bridge here, it's an engineering feat. It was built from 1993 to 1997, and it connects New Brunswick to Prince Edward Island. It's 12.9 kilometers long, so it takes about 11 minutes to cross, and it's actually the longest ice-covered bridge in the world. So, you know, when it's cold out, it has that claim to fame. An interesting thing too, to come to PEI, it's free, but if you want to leave, you have to pay. So this summer, the government of Canada just announced tolls were sliced in half. So it's $20 now to leave PEI, which is really great. And then here we have the Northumberland Ferry. So the ferry is in southeastern Prince Edward Island. It connects Caribou, Nova Scotia to Wood Island's PEI. It's a 75-minute crossing, and it's kind of a nice way to break up your travel so you're not driving the whole time. And same thing like the bridge, the tolls were cut in half. So roughly $43 for a standard vehicle to drive on, but there's also walk-on passengers and bigger coach buses as well. This is a map just showing Prince Edward Island. We break PEI up into 3 different coastal drives to kind of base your itineraries around. So we have the North Cape Coastal Drive, the Central Coast Drive, and the Points East Coastal Drive, all amazing different sections of PEI and so many different things to do in each. Then we have Charlottetown, of course. So Charlottetown's the capital city of Prince Edward Island with roughly 80,000 people. It's growing more and more each year. There's so much history, culture, amazing landscapes and food in Charlottetown. For those that don't know, Charlottetown is the birthplace of Confederation. So this is where the historic Charlottetown Conference took place. And basically a small group of elected officials came together to discuss uniting the maritime jurisdiction. And basically from that conversation, something bigger came, which ultimately led to the creation of Canada, which is kind of cool here. And that picture there is, that picture right there is the building where it happened. So also in Charlottetown, it's so easy to get around. You know, for people maybe that aren't as mobile, it's pretty flat, so you can get around and see a lot of different things. We have so many different cute streets. Victoria Row, it's a pedestrian street with lots of boutiques, restaurants. And one of the things you'll find too, just the locals are so friendly and nice. It's definitely something that you'll remember when visiting. So we have some different accommodations too in Prince Edward Island. Right here we have West Point Lighthouse, which is in Western PEI. So this lighthouse was constructed in 1875, and it was actually the first of the second generation of lighthouses in PEI. PEI actually has the most lighthouses per capita in North America. I believe it's 63. So you could go on a whole lighthouse tour while you're here. The West Point Lighthouse also is in Cedar Dunes Provincial Parks, tons of camping in Prince Edward Island, and lots of different parks to go to. It also offers really stunning views of the Northumberland Strait. And this is an inn, but also a museum, which is kind of cool. And then the highly talked about Blackbush Beach Resort. So Blackbush Beach Resort is our newest coastal resort on the north shore of Prince Edward Island. So it's in a place called Tracadie. It's right on the beach. As you can see here from some of the pictures, it's kind of a Nordic Scandinavian feel with the architecture. Every single room in here has a view of the beach, a view of the water. There's, I think, just over 30 rooms. But also on this property, they have villas and cottages. And they're only they're really a year into full operation. So they have plans to kind of grow and expand. But it's amazing. There's a spa in there. They have a yoga studio and lots of different amenities, activities on the beach. They have a casual beach dining restaurant called Finn Folk Food. It has beautiful coastal views as well. Tons of the locals in PEI like to come here, so you know it really is a good spot. And one fun thing is dogs are allowed in there, so lots of people like to bring their dogs in there as well. And then hopefully, I believe it's in November, if you can see that picture on the top, they have a rooftop restaurant, and they're hoping to open that in November, and that's going to be kind of more fine dining food. Blackbush is only 15 minutes from Charlottetown, so very, very close to the city center. Then we have Nature Space Resort. So Nature Space is located in Eastern PEI. It opened in 2020, but every year they're continuously expanding. It is kind of made up of a whole bunch of yurts. So they're not domes, they're actually Mongolian yurts. And everything that you can see in here was shipped straight from Mongolia. So the owners had all of this, I guess, equipment and products shipped there, and they built it themselves. It's really quite amazing. What's really cool about this spot, the owners too, are Heather and Jared. Heather's a vet by trade, and Jared was the former PEI oyster biologist. So they offer tons of different amazing experiences on the property, aside from, yoga and wellness adventures. There's nature walking, different kayaking activities. Jared also does kind of like an oyster education where he'll talk about the different types of oysters and take you around. There's tons of things to do here, so I would definitely recommend if you're into kind of nature and outdoor activities. So then we also have some different experiences. I just wanted to highlight a few of the newer experiences that are offered in PEI. So we have the Harbor Hopper Tours. This originated in Halifax, and now they've brought it to PEI. So it's based in Charlottetown, and as you can see here, it's a land and sea adventure. So you start off on the land, you do a historic tour of Charlottetown, and then all of a sudden you drop right into the water. So it's about 55 minutes, can fit roughly 40 people. There's actually a tarp on the top there too, so if there's rain or anything, you won't get wet. And I've been on it twice actually the last month with different fam groups, and the guide Glenn is absolutely wonderful. It's hilarious. Definitely would recommend this. Then we have Deep Roots Distillery. So Deep Roots Distillery has been in operation For 10 years. Again, the product keeps growing and growing. It's a family-owned and operated distillery. Basically, how it started was in 1990. Initially, they had an apple orchard, and they wanted to kind of grow some different product. But what they ended up doing was handcraft spirits, and liqueurs and ciders. What's interesting at this spot too, so you can get a tour of the entire property, different tastings to see kind of what you like. Can obviously buy a whole bunch of product on site. But what's really cool, and I just did this actually with a fam tour, you can actually make your own spirit, which is really, really cool. You go in, basically, you can choose. We chose between vodka and gin, and then you can basically pick like lemon, all of the different ingredients that go in it, whether it be I don't even know, like elderflower, all of those different things. So you can actually make your own. And mine's sitting still on my counter here for 2 weeks, and then you kind of drain it out, and then you have your own spirit. So it's a really, really cool experience, and they're able to cater, depending on how long you want to go as well. Then disc golf. So disc golf is a really, really big thing in PEI. Since 2011, when the first course opened, we now have 20 courses with so many different random baskets and public parks and so on. And people kind of joke that we're the garden of the golf, but we should be called the garden of the disc golf because the growing popularity, it's really being propelled on the world stage as well with lots of different international tournaments. And this picture here, so we have a brand new course in Belfast, which is really exciting, and different investments from the government. It's beautiful, it's scenic, and it's great for all skill levels. So just kind of wanted to highlight that we do have some other product other than golf in PEI. The Island Walk. So the Island Walk's a 700-kilometer walking trail looping around PEI. Basically, it's kind of like Canada's version of the Camino Trail. So to complete the entire trail, it would take you over 30 days because you're walking roughly 20 to 25 kilometers a day. But obviously, people usually just come and pick different sections of the trail to do. And what's really great, we have services that will pick your bags up at point A, drop them off at point B, so you don't have to worry about all your luggage when you're hiking. Lots of different pit stops along the way. 50% of the trail is from the Confederation Trail, which used to be old railroad tracks. 25% is red dirt road and boardwalks, and then 25% are grassy shoulders of secondary roads. So it's really quite spectacular. And again, this is a growing product year after year here. Just wanted to show you a quick picture. So this kind of just gives you an idea of all the different sections of the Island Walk as well. As you can see, they're spaced across the entire island. So you really do have your pick of where you want to go. And then Canada's Food Island. So we're known as Canada's Food Island. We have some amazing culinary festivals and different authentic experiences. And here you're really coming to see like where food connects with the people who grow and harvest it. We have so many farmers, fishers, chefs, food entrepreneurs in PEI, and obviously tourism is a huge part of Prince Edward Island. But we really pride ourselves in the product, farm-to-table experiences, phenomenal seafood, lobster, oysters, mussels, but we also have really great beef and potato products as well. But at the end of the day, we like to say that the best ingredient is actually the people in itself. So we have the Prince Edward Island International Shellfish Festival, which just took place mid-September. And this is based in Charlottetown. It's an Atlantic Canadian festival, very, very popular. They have chefs that are flown in for different competitions, as you can see here. There's an oyster shucking competition. There's a seafood chowder competition. And then on top of that, we have different celebrity chef demos. And then they have a big band play at the nighttime as well. So it's a really lively event. Lots of people are flying in from all over to take part in this and also sample some really great seafood as well. Bannock and clams. So this experience is in Lennox Island, and it's a hands-on cultural event connecting the Mi'kmaq traditions through food, storytelling, and nature. And so basically, with the guidance of traditional storytellers, you get to experience preparing the bannock, which is traditionally made bread that's cooked in the sand, and the oysters are cooked on the open fire. And it's a really, really cool experience because you get to kind of immerse yourself in this culture, but then also hear different stories from the community that live in Lennox Island as well. So the Culinary Boot Camp. So the Culinary Institute of Canada is in Charlottetown, and it offers top-tier culinary and hospitality programs. So it's basically one of the best cooking schools in Canada, where tons of students come to prepare to be chefs. We have some award-winning culinary boot camps. There's everything from student boot camps in the summertime to half-day camps for adults, particularly in the summer. And it could be anything from like making bread to like full gourmet meals, lobster, seafood, everything like that. So it's a really cool experience to try if you're into cooking. And then lastly, deep sea fishing is obviously big in Prince Edward Island. This is just an example of one of many different product and experiences offered. This is Tranquility Cove Adventures in Eastern PEI in Georgetown. It's captained by Perry Gotel. He has tons of different product, but this one in particular, you hop on his boat, you go fishing for mackerel or different type of fish, whatever's in the water. And then you actually cook the fish on the boat, which is really fun. You get to see a local seal up close. He's going to pull up lobster traps, and it's a really, really cool experience. And he's definitely very animated. So this is just one of the many different experiences that you can enjoy in Prince Edward Island. And yeah, with that said, I wish I could say more, but we only have a little time. So if you're looking for any more information, here's my contact information, and happy to continue the conversation on PEI. Back to you, Charlie.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Such a special destination. And it's always lovely, we do hear a lot about Western Canada here, of course, from Australia and New Zealand. So we do love it when we hear from Eastern and Atlantic Canada and hear what's happening on your side of the country, Charlotte. So thank you so much.